Okay.
Cool. I'm recording now. If anyone joins, just start. I'll let you know if someone joins.
Okay.
We can start now.
All right.
Cool.
Okay. Hello, guys. It's David Praise Chukwumakalu again. So today we'll be looking into web scraping with Beautiful Soap. So the idea about this, okay, we're going to talk about what web scraping is, some examples of web scraping. We could also see some applications of where web scraping like is applied. And we'll also talk about Beautiful Soap, which is an amazing Python library. Because if, for example, if you want to get like documents and easily process them. And we'll also do some practical examples. So not just to talk about a bit of the theory, but some practical examples and also some takeaway point notes, some takeaway points for this lecture. So let's start by what is web scraping? So you could think of web scraping as a technique for targeted automated extraction of information from website. So let's say you want to like access a website and you want to keep track or like collect informations on the website. You could think of, for example, Amazon web store, their web store. So if you want to like get like books and so you want to get the price of the book, the name of the book, the link to the images, as well as the comments, something about the book, and you want to create like an archive. So you want to store all these information that you're collecting from a website. You want to store it in an Excel file or somewhere, or you could create a database out of the information that you've collected. So, web scraping sometimes, okay, we could see that sometimes you might actually choose to either do all this like collection of information manually by going to a website and collecting like the title, the price, the review, the star, the rating of the book, and all other informations. Sometimes you could do it manually by hand by copying, pasting it, and putting in an Excel file, or another option is that you could actually build a simple Python script, and which is like more efficient and faster, and sometimes and also less prone to error. So it's much easier to get work done very quickly. So another thing about web scraping is that it allows us to basically get like this unstructured data from a website to get this data and put it in a very structured format. So we'll also see examples in the practical sections about like how to get data from a website and store it in a CSV file. So, and I also mentioned that web scraping, it's not just about going online and getting this data, but it's also reasonable that you also, this data that you've collected, you want to put it in a very organized way and like store it and keep it for later on, or you could easily keep track of changes online. So something about web scraping is that you want to tell our computer, okay, how to go through like a website and to how to find like specific content that we need. So let's say if we're interested in the price, well, I'll also show you how to inspect a page and how to collect like the prices. Could be different things that you want to get from from like a website you want to get data from. So it's also where you could think of it as providing patterns in which a computer can identify and extract required content. So, for example, let's say we're interested in this vector robot and from Amazon, and like we're an online store, and we have like, let's say I've got my own online store, and I'm Amazon's rival, and I want to keep track of their changes. Let's say I'm selling this product that they're also selling. So I could build a script that I could frequently check the price of this and to see, okay, if Amazon made a discount, well, since I'm the rival, I should also make a discount so I don't lose, so I can also sell my product. So it could be like this could be one example of one reason to scrape. It could also be like, for example, for marketing purpose. So you want to go into website that there are like emails there, and you want to collect as much emails as possible for like marketing purpose. There also some. You could also check this out. It's an application. It's a web application. Great. It's amazing. It's an amazing product. It's called Phantom Buster, and there are different things you could do with it. You could collect people's emails. You could basically extract a lot of data from a website, from like a website like LinkedIn, and collect like a bunch of emails and use it for marketing purpose later. And any questions?
Yeah, I do.
Yeah.
Is it possible to web scrape like how do you say now? Uh, like for instance, if you wanted to instead of using the Google Maps API, but
Okay.
for scrape for say business addresses, phone numbers, and locations.
Like, wait, for your question, like using Google Map.
Okay, so let me rephrase. Like for
Okay.
instance, now if you wanted to get say the information of all the businesses cutting hair
Okay.
in a location like Strasbourg, you would have to access the Google Maps API, right?
Yeah,
And
that's
then
one
your
way.
search query and all of that, you enter all of that into the API, and then it gives you um, a result. So what I'm saying
Yeah.
is it's possible to use say Python script to scrape instead for that kind of data instead of going through the Google API.
Well, it depends. Some websites, so since Google provided an API for you
Hmm.
to access those kind of informations,
Yes.
some website won't allow you to like basically web scrapes, like go through their website to like get information,
Okay.
for example. So that's why it's best to first to look up if there's an open API provided by that company.
Yeah.
Sometimes it could be open or it could be closed. It depends on the data they want to allow you to get from them.
Okay. Okay. Thank you so much. That was my
You're
question.
welcome. You're welcome. Any other questions?
Hi, can I
Hello?
just quickly ask about the ethics of web scraping? Because some websites like Google will have private information. I guess that's why they provide the
Yeah.
API rather than letting you take whatever you want.
Yeah.
So, what is the ethical, like, how do people stand about the ethics of web scraping?
Hmm. Um, so like what I would say is that if your question is like about like if you could just like rephrase your question again for me.
Okay, I guess I'm asking more specifically, what is your opinion
Okay.
about the ethics of web scraping? Because you're sort of taking information
Hmm.
that might be private company business, like the example that you gave where you're comparing yourself to Amazon prices.
Yeah.
That's sort of messing with their business model, I guess, in a way.
Yeah. I just picked like for example, it could be something else. I mean, I'm not
Yeah.
like basically specific like, okay, you should go and like compete with Amazon or something. I mean, if you want to, but it could be like a different store, like I don't know, let's say McDonald's, or it depends, or KFC, and you want to keep track of like if there's a discount or something.
Yeah, I get you.
Yeah.
I mean, to
Yeah.
contribute to that, if I like to think that if it's on a website, then it's publicly available data. With that said, I don't know what the current GDPR regulations are concerning web scraping, but yeah, I'll just let you get back to it.
Well, you could definitely read more about it, and there are a lot of informations about like the kind of data that you should collect online, and of course to also check out the GDPR. So now we could also check some applications. So as I mentioned, it could be like, for example, collecting comments. So of course, YouTube has an API that lets you collect comments section from videos. It could be, for example, keeping track of like, the stock price on how it like changes or fluctuates every single minute. It could be like gathering different information that you want online on different web pages. And so now, let's go into what Beautiful Soap is. And before we start, like with some practical examples. So of course, Beautiful Soap, it's when I mentioned that it's a wonderful Python library that. So for example, let's say you found some web page that displays like some information that is like important. So if you're working on a project or like a research, but there isn't like an API that lets you get this data that you want from. So the next option is that you pretty much want to like build like a scraper to collect information. Like I also remember like a friend of mine, they're working on like an application. So the idea is like they go to like different. It's like you have an Android app, and let's say you're interested in getting Nike shoes. So let's say you type in the brand, you look for the one that you're interested in, and it gives you like, okay, this from your current location, here is the closest store that has the shoe. So pretty much they scrape different website and they stored it, all these information somewhere, and they just render it to you when you request for them. And also, it's a amazing tool that lets you clean up and parse different documents that you pretty much put from the web, and removing like all this different HTML markups. So to install Beautiful Soap, I'm not quite sure what environment you're using. If you're using Linux, I'm pretty sure this would definitely work. Pip install Beautiful Soap. If you have Anaconda installed on your computer, then I'll suggest you run this command: conda install the C, conda, and Beautiful Soap. You should also install, if you have Anaconda installed, then this request library and possibly this future library also comes along within the package that you downloaded. Okay, now, so let's scrape some data. Okay, so for this section, I'll be using Google Colab. So it depends. You could use different environment. It depends on your choice. But for this, I choose to use Google Colab. So since since over here it has like all this libraries installed for us, just to show you, if you want to install like a specific library on Google Colab, you could put the exclamation mark first, then pip install. Let's say request, and same thing, pip install Beautiful Soap 4. And once you run that, okay, of course, it's already satisfies everything. And yeah, that's done. So now we could import requests. So this request lets us get data from a web page. So we'll be using the get request mostly. So we want to require data from, it depends, you got like a web server or something, when I ask for it. this web pages that we wish to get, and also import BS4. From BS4, import Beautiful Soap. Yeah, there we go. That's it. Okay. Yeah. Is the font large enough for you guys to see, or should I zoom in a bit more?
But just make it a little bit larger. Thank you.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So now first let's build like a simple like a HTML page just to get like the basic idea of it. Then we'll start like, you know, getting data from like where we'll start like getting different web pages and getting informations that we want. So let's build like a simple data. So we could call it like htdoc. And something like this. So you can have like doc type. HTML. HTML and the closing tag HTML. We've got our head. So here we have put the close it. Put the title of the page or the gradient boost. We close it. And we have our body tag. Open it, close it, body. Oh yeah, and if I'm too fast, just tell me to like slow down. And we have our p tag, the paragraph, and could give it like a class title. This is very important, the class, and we'll see like how we could like get specific informations by specifying the attribute. So the p tag, the bold, so we have like gradient boost, and close our bold tag and close the paragraph. We'll also make another section again. Give it a class called section. You could definitely close it. Okay, we are currently having weekend workshops. Put like a tag. So this is like I'm gonna specify like links. href is the location. So it could be like example http / www.example.com. Be something else. And you could specify the class equals to, let's say, boy, and an ID to say link 1, and we continue. Here we have it open and closed. Okay. Oh yeah, we need to also David Praise Chikuma Kalu. Okay, close our A tag and Google Meet. And we could just like run this. So now we could call our soup Beautiful Soap class, Beautiful Soap, and HTML_doc. So that's like our markup. So that's our HTML. And this part is like usually depends on, you could either use a HTML parser, you could either use like XML, you could also use XML. Like it doesn't really matter, this part. So you could like literally specify any of them you want. Okay. So now if we use something like soup.prettify, you can see what it's about. Okay, no documentations, but it helps us like structure the format of our HTML documentation. You just need to print it out and you see it in a very structured way. And there's something wrong with my link. HTTPS reference, open and close. Yeah, okay, that looks fine. Add my link over there. Oh yeah, over the session. And run this. You can see our HTML document. Now let's say we want to get the title. So since we've passed this into a soup object, so we could like get like title. Of course, you expect to see the gradient boost. We could as well get like, for example, soup.title, the string. So basically we get the value over here. That's our content, the gradient boost. And just with the title, we get like everything encapsulated within our title tag. You could also get the paragraph. So soup.p. So we got like the gradient boost. And we could also get like our link over here, soup.a. The link. So we have like the class name, the link. This is like the address, the ID as well. We could also use the soup.find tag. So if you want to find like a specific element, so let's say, what are we interested in finding? So a tag. Yep. Or we could specify the ID, given an ID that we're interested in, an ID called link1. Close it. Pretty much that's our link. So same thing. Now, any questions for this? All right, I guess not. So now let's let's now go to the web. So since we've seen like just a small of how like a HTML, how like a basic web page looks like, now let's actually extract some information from like a website. So and an example that I prepared is like you want to like scrape books from websites. So the location is right over here. So we will like books to scrape.com. Yeah, so this is like basic so book to scrape. So we're gonna practice like scraping. Let's say we're interested in like getting the content from like this page over here. So let's say we've got like the title here, we've got the price, we've also seen like the stars, the rating. We could also get like, the link, the address to this. So basically we could get the address, this link, the A tag, which we've seen so far. Could be the product description, the product information, and so many things. Like you could easily get content that you want. So now first we start by providing like our URL link. So it's pretty much this is the place, this is the address that we want to get information from. And now you could request the data. So we could store in a response variable and request dot get. So this is like a get information. So you want to get data from the web page and get it. You want to access like the web page provided like as an argument to this function. So the argument that we provided to this function is our link. when we run it. Then we could also print out the response.status code. So we got like a status code of 200, and this status code, it's very important to understand like different status codes. So 200 means like, okay, it was successful. So pretty much we got what we requested for. There are also different status code, and I also recommend that you also look it up. So you have like 200, you've pretty much seen 404, page not found, 500, be like an internal server error, and different service, different status code. We could also get like, the response.header. So to check like our HTTP header of our website to verify, okay, indeed, if we've accessed the correct page. Response. Okay, headers. Yeah, there we go. And we could also get the content, response.content, context. And this is pretty much our web page. So now, of course, this looks really nasty. So what we're going to do is that we're going to pass this content into Beautiful Soap. So we could easily like, it's much easier. So we could like easily get specific stuff that we want. So as I mentioned, the price, the title, and other different things. So now let's go to like soup. Let's build our soup. So Beautiful Soap. And what we're going to pass in is our responsive context. And of course, the parser. Right there. So HTML.parser. Okay. Now we could use like the links. We could like find all like, let's say now the idea is that we want to find all the links in this specific page. So it could be like soup.find. So there are different like methods. So we have like the find. So basically what this does is like it extracts a list of tags objects and that match like a given criteria. And our given criteria is like, let's say A. We want to find all of them, and the find, it only returns like the first child of this tag. So pretty much like this is our first tag. And okay, now since we have all the links over here, we could store it in like a variable. And of course, when you use the links dot find the A, which I mentioned, so you could get like this one, but soup dot find A, get the first child. So now let's say we want to loop through all these links. So I'm just going to print out the links. And well, let's say we're interested in like you're looking for like a specific attribute inside our link tag. So which is like inside our A tag. So let's say we're looking for home. So basically if this value over here is the specific attribute inside our link tag, if it's equals to home, then print it out. So build an easily build a for loop. So for link and links, just to get an idea of what's going on. So you could print out the link just to iterate through our list result set. Yeah. And you could build like a condition statement. If link dot, let's say the text, if it's equals to home right over there, then print it out. Yeah. And over here, indentation. There we go. And any questions so far? Okay, I guess not. So now let's go back to like the same website. Now we've got like all these books over here. So we got like so many books, and we want to like get like the address, the location. And so you want to get the title of the book, the price, the link address, and also different things, like the stars, doesn't matter. So now the idea is like we want to extract all these informations here and store it in like in a dictionary, or put it in like in a in a structured format that we can use later on. So now we could do something like this. So first, of course, we need to form the GET request first. So you provided the link. Now we've got the response. So we got request dot get URL link. Now we'll create our soup object. Response. Let's specify this HTML.parser. So now we could also print out our soup over here. So pretty much this is like this is like our web page. This web page over here is all the information that we extracted. It's pretty much similar to this page over here that we built manually. Okay, now what's the idea? So now let's go to this page and let's use this inspect command. So this is a very good developer tool. So I got to it, it's like we right click and inspect. Pretty much all the browsers have it. Definitely all the browsers. And I could make this bigger, yeah. So now let's say, of course, this is me just, first of all, you need to click this like select an element in the page to inspect. So I'm just going through my web page. So if I want like this header, so it's inside this div tag and another div tag over here, and that's like the class name. So if I want to get like this all product over here, this is what I'm going to specify to find this specific class. But let's say, what I'm interested in is like in this book section. So I'm interested in this section over here, but I don't want this warning. So I'll go a bit deeper here and just scrape through it. And section right over here. This is for this column. So we got this section over here. Okay, not this warning message, but inside this tag. And what are we looking for? That's not what we're looking for. Okay, it doesn't matter. We could get anything we want. Later on, we can easily modify it. And okay, so now once we've got that, then we can use the find all. So we could find all. I'd be interested in finding. Start with something busy, simple. Let's say this book. Yeah. So yeah. Okay, now found what I'm looking for. So now let's say this particular part in our page. This is like our book, but we need to go a bit outer. So this is like we see in here the stars. This is like our title. So if you look right over here, just keep track. Look over there. So you click over here, and you can see that's a title over here. And over here, click there, and we see the price. And you could also see like in stock or not in stock. So it's in stock. So let's say to get the specific, all this information about this particular book, you right click there. So it's inside our article tag. So what we could do is that we could find. So if we look at the same thing, it's inside our article tag, and the second one also, it's inside our article tag over here. So now the idea is now I'm gonna find all the articles. So let's say articles. Okay. And let's say I'm interested in like, so we've got like the title. So it's in a H3 tag. And put like a H3 tag over there. And once you run this, of course, this should not work. Yep. We need, because it says that result has not could find. You're probably treating a list of items such as a single list. Okay, so you need to specify like this zero tag over there. Yep. So the idea is that I'll explain this now. This returns like a result set. And if you look at this, like at the bottom here, this close, it's a square bracket. And if you go all the way up, over here, yeah, you can see an open square bracket here. So pretty much this is like a list. So let's say, remember having like, let's say, make a list, let's say 1, 2, 3, and you want to get the first element, your first item in your list. So you need to specify the 0 index. So it's in our case, it's like this, and we need to specify the 0 to get this, pretty much what we've got this web page here. That's why I specified the 0 index. And using the find, so look for the tag H3. And these are the tags H3. So you could see here the title, a light and the attic. A light and the attic over there. Yeah. And so yeah, that's like one part of it. We could also say go to the soup again, .find all, same thing, article. But now what are we interested in? Let's see, we're interested in, let's say, the price. So you click over there. Make sure you use this. You click over there first. Then locate the P, price. So right here, it's inside a div tag. And inside also a P tag over here with the class name, price, and color. And over there, that's our price. So what are we gonna do now? We're gonna find like this P tag with the attributes called price, color. So I'm just gonna copy this. So I want to find the P tag with find P. Yep, and class. Price, color over there. So you can see this. So I'm telling, okay, find all the articles, select the first one, and of course, so I'm interested in, like, let's say this first book over here. So now, once you find that article, basically it's this section, as I mentioned, article over here. Now, in that article, find a p tag with a class called price color. So go over there, and we've got our price. So that's what I said. Find the p tag with a class and assigned, like, called price color. So with the p tag with a class called price color, and also you've seen the value over there, 51. And if you want to get, like, this, the actual price, you could use, like, dot text. See, that's how you get the price over there. So now, you could also do the same thing by getting, like, say you want to get the image. So you use your selector. That's what I want, the image. So the image over here, expand this. So I could find my image here, and also I could get, like, the address to it. So you could do something like soup.find all image. Wait, not find all image, but, like, this part. Find the article first. And we got, like, find our image over there. And that's the address of our image. I want to get the, of course, the text is nothing. Over here, we've got, like, so we've got, like, our image. We've got, like, the alt. It's like a description of the image. We've got, like, this src, the source. So that's, like, the address to it. Okay, and so pretty much that's it. And let's say we also want to find, what else do we want to find again? If that's it. So yeah, that pretty much that's it for now. So now the idea is that, okay, so we've done this for, like, just only this particular book. And let's say we want to do it for, like, all these particular books. So as I mentioned, that the find all tag, it returns, like, a list of these. It returns, like, a list, yeah, of these our items. So we could use the find all tag to find all of these articles. So we get, like, all these articles, and within the loop, of course, we could find, like, this specific, like, get all these data from this specific section of it, this specific place over here. So this book. Also use it, the for loop again, to iterate to get this part, also to get all these values, and we could store them somewhere. So I'm just going to quickly build. So let's say li and soup dot find all. So that's, like, the process with using these when process of, like, web scraping. So pretty much you need to find, like, the specific thing you want and to get it, and something takes time, so you need to, like, add that. So find all the article, and let's say we've got our title. So we've got, like, the same thing over here. So this is our title over here. So we just, well, we don't need to since we use the find. So li.find, find code, our title, it's in a h3 tag, h3. So I could just print it out so you get an idea of what's going on. So, okay, now that's it. And when we print .text, so you see, like, the light and the dash, like, tripping the velvet, and pretty much over there, so you got the light, tripping the velvet, sole mission, shape objects, and pretty much that's like all of these books over here. So now, let's say we want to get not just the title, but like let's say we want to store it. So we could assign it to like to create a list, so we could save all of these values. So like a title and like the price of the book, prices, like the images, and you could also store the links. Why not? The links, this is a good thing. So if you're familiar with this, so title equals this. Yep. And you could store it in a list, so we could use like title.append, titles that append title. Same thing we do for like the price, li.find, what are we interested in? So find the p tag with an attribute called price color. So our attribute is like this class, and the class name is called price color. So I'll just copy this part of the code and put it over here. Close it. And also I could also print it out so you get an idea on, you could print the price. So you can see this. You could use like .text. Yeah, you've got all the price like 51.77 pounds, 53, 50, and that's the same thing over here, 51, 53, 50, and so on. I think I should also specify like the text over here. Yeah. And you could do this for like the images. So you use ll.find. So over here, find the image, and you can print it out. It's always good to test out your code. Use a print statement. It's much easier for debugging. So .text. Nope, not that one. Find image. Yep. And that's what we use. And we need to specify the attributes. Yes. The attribute. Okay, if you use like this, images dot image. Just run this part again. But no, this one. But image dot, yeah, attributes. And so you've seen like the alt, the class, and also the source. We could also print this out to see what it returns. Let's comment the price out. Okay, so this is like all the locations. So this could be, I mean, of course, you wouldn't, if you put this right now, I'm pretty sure you wouldn't get anything. But this could be like, it doesn't matter if you're scraping a different website, it could be like an actual existing link. But the reason why I use this web page over here, it's much easier. So to give you an idea about it, on how to get started. And later on, you could easily build all these stuff by yourself. So since I just did .image, I could pretty much just put everything over there and take this part out. And now what else again? Let's say links. The li.find a link without the plural. Link. We've got like all the links over there. And now we're interested in this attribute, so href. So it's pretty much easy. Link dot attribute href. And okay, there you go. You can see the link to those web pages. So for this book, A Light in the Attic, This is the location. So now you can just put it over there. And now, since everything is working, like we hope so, now we need to append it to our list, to this list that we created here. So we've got titles.append title. Remember, singular and plurals. Prices.append price. We got images.append image. And also we got links.append link. And once you run that, you can just print it out just to make sure that's what we want. Okay, yeah, that's pretty much our titles. And of course, some of them have like these stuff in them, but it doesn't really matter. It depends. You could easily go to that web page and get the exact title. So you could play around with this. And we've got like prices. Let's see. Okay, we have a lot of prices there. Images. Yep, we've got our images there and links. And we've got the links to those web pages there. So now we could create like a dictionary and create like this, like it's a form of like an Excel sheet. So we could have like this really good, nice structured document. So I could do something like books equals pd dot data. Oh, but first I need to import pandas. Import pandas as pd. pd.data frame. Make it empty, and we could also specify like our column names. So let's say we've got like title, got the image, we've got like the price, we've got like the link to the web page. We could run that. And now we could do something like books of what? Titles equals titles. Books of images equals images. Books of price and books of link equals links. We'll run that. Now we can print out our document. And voila. You see the title of the book, you see the image, the price, the link. So now this could also vary. Okay, it depends if you want to get like a different document, if you want to get a different information, and you could put it in a very nice structured way, and like you could also print it out in a CSV, like book start to CSV over there, and you need to perform like the part and the name. So you've got like, let's name it books.csv. Not sure how you do it. And if I open by the side over here, I have got my CSV file over there. So I could easily download it and keep it. So you've got like, that's my document. Yeah. So any questions so far now? Okay, I got like the connection. Oh, the connection is breaking up. Really? Oh, I did not know that. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can.
Were you able to hear me, like what I've said so far, or was I just talking to myself?
I missed like the last minute.
Okay, all right.
Yeah, I stopped hearing you after you printed out the data frame.
Okay. And pretty much that's what I've done so far. So I just printed out the data frame. So now let's quickly walk through like one example, if you guys have time. It's like, let's do something like a stock price tracker. So let's say we've got like Yahoo stocks. So we've got like our S&P 500, and we're interested in like, this price over here, and we want to see how it like changes over time. So like you could see like every single, okay, just close this part. Oh, what is going on with my screen? Oh yeah. Wait a minute. Okay. I don't know what's wrong. Okay, now it's fine. All right. So now let's say that if we look at this, what is going on with my screen? Can you guys see the flickering on my screen?
There's no flickering here.
Like it's like turning black and going all the way white.
Nope, none here.
None. Oh, then it's just me. I don't know. I could see like something different. Okay. So let's say we got this. Then something is definitely wrong with my screen. I don't know how you guys can see it. Ah, maybe it's with the web page. Okay. Oh yeah, it's with that web page. Yeah. Okay, yahoo.com. And we've got like some stocks that say yeah, this one. Let's go back to it again. I hope it doesn't really work. So let's say over time, this like you can see the price changes every single like minute, and we want to keep track of this price as it changes every single minute. So basically, we could build like a scraper. We could inspect our page, of course. It's not what we're looking for. We're looking for this price. So right over here, we could start from here. Okay, that's not what, oh yeah, see? Look as I move over here with my mouse. Okay, that's what I want. So it's inside this div tag with the class name. My open parenthesis 6px. So, and also there, if we check inside the div and inside the div, yeah, we can see our price over there. So I could just go a bit. It's usually good practice just to like not to go close to the div, because sometimes you could change, but to just go outside and you can see over here all of these divs, inner divs, they're inside this div over here. So basically I could get this class, and I could also do the same thing, like I'll just store the name for there. Stock price tracker. Okay, that's the class we're interested in. But first, let's build our URL link. This is the page. And now we could create our GET request. So request .get. And okay, once we've gotten that, we could also check the response to the status code to make sure everything is okay. 200, everything's successful. So soup equals beautiful soup, and we've got response. We could use the content and specify the parser, html.parser. And now the price is basically equals to, okay, now let's, yeah, soup.find. What am I looking for? I'm interested in what? So find all the divs basically with this class with a class name called my at 6px. So we use the find all. C dot find all the divs, and we've got like the class, a class name over there, like that. So pretty much, if you can see this, I think we probably can print it. It stays in a good format. Not sure. No, not. And now I could go inside. So basically, in my this div tag. So inside this div tag, I've got all the content. And now you can see my price is inside a tag called span. It's over there. So now and that's like the only, yeah, that's like the only, we've got the span over here. So now find the span tag. That's what we're interested in. A span tag, yep. And dot find span. Okay. Oh yeah, remember, you need to specify the 0 over there. No, we could see this. So we could see like the value over there. So you could use dot text to get the value. Now we've got like we have our value. So now a simple task for you, if you could like based on what I've typed here. Now the idea is that you could make like a infinite loop, so like a while loop that keeps running, and you could print out the prices because since this changes like frequently, so every single minute this is gonna change. So I could give you like, you know, let's say 3 minutes to do it. Because like later on when I run this again, it would change. Okay, not now. Maybe like after a minute goes by, you could run it again. Still the same. Let's just wait for like a minute.
I don't think the markets are open.
Well, it should be, right? Okay.
I don't think the markets are open. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
a weekend.
Ah, it's a weekend. Okay, yeah. Okay. So you could also test this like later on. So let's say, okay, now just to like build like a simple like a function that we could like keep running this function like over time. So you could like make a simple function, call it S&P price and tracker. So basically I'm just gonna take everything here and put it here. So this and this one also. Of course, you need to properly format this. 1, 2. Okay, so since I want to keep track of my prices, so I could make like a price, like a list, store it in a price variable, and do something like prices.append price. Okay, and no, I don't need that. Since I just call this, then I could just return price. Yeah, return price. And once I call this function, just check again. Okay. So it might not work now, but later on you can test it out to see like if it, of course it's gonna work when the markets are open. So we could have something like while loop, while true. So this is gonna run like nonstop. Call this function. Pay prices every minute. Oh, not that. This function. And then we could end this. So basically, every minute, what it's going to do is that it's going to return this value. And okay, I could do typecasting. So typecasting, I'm pretty sure, not sure if you guys are familiar with typecasting. So it's basically changing the data type. So let's say I have like a string object. That's a string. And if I want to convert this into an integer, I just use int of string object. Wait, invalid in for int. By invalid.
Yeah, I guess because of the decimal place.
Oh yeah, but that shouldn't be a problem though.
I think you'd be able to typecast it properly
Pardon?
if it was a float. I think you'd be able to typecast it that way if it was a float. I think, I'm not sure.
Oh yeah, that's right. So yeah. So basically the idea is just to convert it into like a string. Or if you want to, oh yeah, a float is better to typecast. I'm going to float, yeah. Float. This value, yeah. If you convert it into a float, yeah, you're right. Because if you convert it into an int, basically what you'll be doing that you'll be losing these values over here.
You lose your decimal place.
Yeah, exactly. So
So I have a question.
okay, just a moment, just to finish this part. So like,
All right.
while true, so it's gonna and return that value, that string, and we just typecast it into a float and append the prices. And once you keep this running, it's gonna what this means. So prices float every minute. Cannot convert string to float. Interesting. Or we could later on, since it wouldn't let us do that, later on, once we've like stored these values, we can change the data type in our list. So it's basically using like prices dot as type, and you could specify like a float at the end. But yeah, this one won't get anything from here. Oh yeah, we could also print it out. So let's say current value, like prices every minute. So you can see how like it changes. Yeah, but it's gonna keep printing this out. So if there's like if once the market is open, if there's a shift, we definitely see the value over there. And yeah, that's it. So, and
Yeah, my issue is we haven't. I don't see any command to define the passage of time. Like, how does our function know that a minute has passed?
Then you could do something called like, from the time library. So Python has like a
TikTok.
Basically, it's like a time module, date and time. So pretty much you could get like just to look for like a really good example. Or you could, just Google it. Say, check if a minute has passed in Python. Yeah, so you Stack Overflow if you're not quite sure. So you've got the like minute pass. Okay, no, not that one. You say it doesn't work with minutes like that. If the time is that, your code will believe to pass in second. So you can use something like this. Instead, use like time.time, which returns time passed since the epochs. So pretty much you could use something like this to modify your code. So you could check if time dot minus your old time So that this gets like the current time now, and to check if like this time, so the old time is, let's say, your current time. Then later on, after a minute, if you call this time the time, to give you something different. So you could check like if your old time, let's say 1 minute ago, yeah, 1 minute ago, and you've got like your current time now. So let's say before it was like 9 minutes past 3. That's the old time, and our new current time over here, it's like 10 minutes past 3. If it's greater than 59, so basically it's used to, you can use a second since epoch to get the time in seconds, so you don't have to worry about minute wrapping around. So if it's like more than 60 seconds, then that's a minute. So you could also add this into your code and modify your code to keep track of the time, to check if like a minute has passed. Does that answer your question? So reason what
Yeah, it does.
you could wrap it over here, so you could call that function, and you could put like an if statement, and you could check if that current time is greater than this, then append it to the list. Is it good? You could also send a link to that Stack Overflow.
Yeah, thanks. Yeah.
Oh yeah, or you could also use the sleep function to sleep for a minute, then come back online, then it'll also you go back to sleep. So there's so many ways of solving the problem or this task. So before we wrap up everything, so of course, so before scraping, it's a good idea to check, okay, first of all, to go around and check, okay, is there like a structured format, like pretty much this document that we created here? If there's like a structured format that exists online, so if there is something like this that exists, of course, you shouldn't waste your time, starting to scrape, of course, because like let's say if you're working, you're running, there's like a time bomb, going. You need to work fast and quickly. So shouldn't spend time on scraping what if there's something that exists. And also, you could also check, okay, is it much quicker to just like copy and paste your data from like a website to an Excel sheet? Because sometimes it might be much quicker than just scraping it. If we're seeing with the book pages, like this part over here, and let's say we're only interested in like getting this, sometimes depends on how quick you are. It might be much faster to just like copy this content and paste it in an Excel file, or you could build a scraper as well. And lastly, also to check if there's like an existing API, like Facebook API, Twitter API, YouTube comment API, different services provided for you. So you don't, so it this gives you like a very structured information of what you want. So you don't have to go around the website, going to the inspects, looking for like a specific div and tag that you want. And in summary, okay, so we've worked with Beautiful Soap. So I would recommend, like, if you're working like on a small project like what we've just done, of course you could use Beautiful Soap. But if you're working on a very large project, like the one I mentioned about my friend, who was like they're building like an application that gives you like, okay, from your current location to where is like the nearest, let's say, Nike store, or I mean not for Nike, but like a different store, where is the closest store that you could find a specific shoe. And yeah, so that's like also one way. So you could use something called Selenium or ScrapeEye. And any questions so far?
None from me.
All right. Anyone else? Okay, then thank you for listening. And also in the presentation, I also provided some resources. So if you're not familiar with HTML, it's also like the W3 School. It's a great website to learn about HTML. And you could also learn about post and get requests. So much further explanation from Geeks. And also these HTML status codes to see. And yeah, like we've got 200, which was like successful. And that's it. Thank you.